Good evening and welcome to the Team Idris channel. So a lot of fiddly things have gone on. You see the winch is now full of rope. This is the pulley off the back of the race truck. It used to sit on top of the tailgate, which it didn't have, but sort of the steel structure, and you could lift things and you could run rope up to the roll cage, and it was just a handy pulley and perfect for this job. In fact, you can see a good old few dents in it that we've given it over the many years of off-roading. To give me some room to sort of lift things, I put 3 bends in the scaffolding tube. I think I gave them like 12 pumps each so that I got them absolutely even. And I think I actually did, so that was pretty good. I sort of had to jig it all over the floor. I made myself some bolty pins by skimming the thread off a piece of threaded bar and then putting a bend in it, and that's great because you only need 1 spanner. But this isn't exactly how I wanted it. The idea was that I was going to sort of stick the scaffolding tube at the bottom and hook under this angle, and that would be it. And you know, you look at something and it just doesn't seem right. So I bought these the other day. It's about dinner plate size, 3/8 thick. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to have to bite the bullet. Yeah, this garage is not wide enough for filming. It's why people have film studios. Plenty of room to swing the camera. So, yeah, they're cut. It's cut in a sort of fancy Z shape. So I got 2 out of 1. And you get a hole at the top there. I managed to drill these on the lathe, which is great because you just wind the handle instead of struggling with a pistol drill. So this threaded rod here goes up to there to make the jib vertical for sort of moving it round. That's still a little bit wet. I've got red paint on me. This is the middle position, so the jib's out at about 45 degrees, and then it gives me about it says 43 inches on the floor between the front of the wheel here and where the hook would drop on the floor. So that's about going to be my main one. In case I got that wrong, I've got another position here which is steeper, which would let it lift more. And then I can't think why I'd want it, but I drilled it anyway, a lower setting. And then imagine the jib's coming out really low there. Still got my spare bosses. I haven't used those for anything yet, but hey, you never know. I found some clips from somewhere. Yay, something else I didn't have to buy. So with the tow ball, yeah, found a tow ball. Winch is now full of rope, so yeah, it runs and does hydraulic things. And from the previous video you might have noticed that it's actually turned round. And it turned round in this garage. It can turn round in quite a small area. Okay, you've got to be steady with the levers because yeah, I think you put pretty fair dents and knock stuff over if you weren't careful, but no, it moves. Yay. I got 1 tyre put on and the other one I put on myself. And then it started going down, so I don't know what I've done with that in that last video. I mean, if you watch the video, it looked alright. Maybe that square tool put a cut in it? I don't know. Maybe I just wanted to sit on the bead. So I've either screwed up or I haven't. Oh, good shot of bolt tabs when they came in steel cans, yeah. Front lamp. That all works off. So I'll get my camera around there, reaching round. It's like a fly cam now. So that's the big cut-off key that I also robbed off the race truck, and then the switches there for ignition and the lights. Wiring came together. Sorry about that. Hope you don't feel sick. Yeah, little silver box there in the middle is for the oil level. So that's all the yellow wires, because it all came unplugged, obviously, because this is the one where it was dropped. You can see sort of the good scuff mark there on the end of the starter motor. So yeah, it seems to work all right. But I think in retrospect I probably just sort of said, no, I'll send it back. But hydraulic system all worked and didn't leak. I've got a lovely wooden floor in there from some wood off a mate that was down the side of an Arctic trailer and rammed underneath it. So I think by the brownness of that, that could be Superior. And then this one, that's much lighter. Is that oak? I don't know. But anyway, it lifts up. And yeah, okay, doesn't necessarily need to lift up other than the fuel cap. The lid off the exhaust pipe came back up. I butchered the hell out of it. So if I take it off, decide I don't want it, take it up the shed, bring it back, cut it and put it back on, does that count as recycling? I don't know, probably not. But anyway, yes, it went all the way up to the storage scrap shed and then came back and got a big clunky breather filler because why machine it down? You know, it's a chunk of brass a mate bought me, and it's just more work to machine it down. So I thought, yeah, I won't bother. The light did go on the light bracket, so it's light and exhaust on there. So if I come down, so we've got the tow hitch there and that ring guy I described. Now, dropping into the back end here, I've got the light on this time. I've already made a video and the sound was absolutely rubbish, so I had to scrap it. Right, so I've got same thing here, the bronze, yeah, I wish, brass bushing here, the brass bushing here so they can please themselves. But when I moved it, it still didn't move as smoothly as I wanted, and I thought, well, the sideways load must be good, it must be the vertical load up and down the pin. So I went on eBay and bought myself a ball thrust bearing. Yeah, it's only got a lot of balls in it, but this isn't a lot of weight, it shouldn't need a lot. So that's a 25mm bore thrust bearing, and I had to remake the pin, unfortunately, using some of that hard steel I had, but yeah, it does feel better. And then a bit of X-Racing truck again, some silicon blue hose cut to sort of try and make it seal, because yeah, outdoor bearings, outdoor for nice hard bearings, it's not going to work, is it? You know, they're going to rot, so I've got to keep it good. I've got the side panel here. So this is proper Land Rover, it's got beer and Fanta in it. Right, here we go. So that's my side panel, and I bought a pony sticker off eBay because, you know, it's got to have a logo on it. Probably should have done the paintwork a bit better, but you know, I'm dyslexic, I'm always in a hurry. I was going to put things on the front. I wanted a dibber for putting bulbs in the ground, and I was going to mount it on the front, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to bite the bullet again, same as those half moons on the front, let's just do the job right. I think we've got past the point of making it lightweight. So these holes are 50mm apart, 8mm holes, and the idea is that I can put a hydraulic ram literally just here, and then it can poke into the ground and make the holes. And hopefully a matey's grabbing me a second-hand jockey wheel, so I can change the wheel for a disc and I can edge the lawn with it, which would be great. So that's a couple of extra uses I hadn't thought of. So far it's looking like it can do more work than Rat Quad Crane could. And Rat Quad Crane was very useful, but it was still a big old quad. Right. Oh, aluminium block there is a special valve where you can't just release the pressure out of the winch to lower it. You have to give it 300 psi in reverse, and then it releases a valve inside, and then it will lower. That's a nice bit of kit, that. Stops the winch running away, which probably never happened on this, but it could on the off-roader. So there's the two pulleys that came off some C-Power unit that I bored out and mounted on there and did all that MacGuffery with the coupling. So I really wanted to make use of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and, well, I seem to be succeeding in fitting this standard alternator. So standard pulley on there came with it, and this is the multi-fit, so you get the two big spade connectors. Are those 6 and a bit mil, and those are nearly 3/8? I know they're Imperial. And then you get the big battery lug for other applications, and a regulator that's pretty easy to change. Brushes just stick through there, so it's a pretty popular one, plenty of spares, no worries. The only snag is that if I can look, get a good shot in there, poke the phone in there, right, that pulley is barely long enough. Yeah, that's my pseudo belt. That pulley is barely larger than the one on the alternator, so when this engine is doing 1000 RPM, the alternator should be doing 3000 or 2000, and it's not going to be. So to get anywhere near full amps on the alternator, it will have to be flat out. What else have I done sneaky? Do it, undo it, do it, undo it. So the engine mounting went here, and then I had to cut it off to swap the wheel around to the back, which is better than having it facing forward. Yeah, because you can kind of see it better here. That's the wheel right at the back, and then before it was right up here. So yeah, is the engine happy there? Well, I can't move it anywhere, but I might put a brace in. To get the belt on, I've removed this stud that supports it. It's all a bit icky in there to film, but yeah, is 3 studs enough? I would think so. It's only a Group 1 pump. We're not talking massive amount of horsepower here. So yeah, I cut a dodge there. So I'm just making the brackets for that. I mean, it's literally getting there, but it's not tediously slow because it's still fun to do, but that initial progress really does stop. So I'll give you a wide shot from as high as I can get. And yeah, that's where I am. Rat quad crane, probably now going to be called Shire crane, because, you know, I live in the Shires. I don't know. It's too nice to call it ratty. Yeah, I know it's got rat parts in it, but you can't have anything that's nicely painted and then go, yeah, it's rat quad crane. It just doesn't fit. So I think it's getting a name change. Yeah, so coming together. Really, really pleased with it. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. Thanks for watching.